Hey, Toy Bonnie, you ever get a very strange sense of, like, deja vu? Like, it feels like we've done this game already, way long ago and
Yeah,
everything.
we did this game. We did this game, but unfortunately, I don't know what the fuck went on me, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have no idea what happened either, but here we are. We are back to continue the Legend of Zelda Zelda-thon and such, or the Legend of Zelda Marathon, and yes, here we are with Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, often called the Black Sheep of the Legend of Zelda series. So before we
Black
actually,
Sheep of the
yeah. So before we go ahead and explain the game, alright, I'll go ahead and read the text. After Ganon was destroyed, Impa told Link a sleeping spell was cast on Princess Zelda. She will awake with the power of the number 3 Triforce, sealed in the palace in Hyrule. To break the seal, crystals must be placed in statues in 6 well-guarded places. Link sets out his most adventurous, tiresome quest yet. And
That's all fine and dandy, but I think the text made a mistake.
oh, well, what kind of mistake did you think they made?
This game doesn't take place in Hyrule.
Actually, no. Like, this does take place in Hyrule. It's just that now we're in a different part of Hyrule than what we were in the first Legend of Zelda game.
No, we're in Tennessee.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's right, yeah, pretty much, yeah. Alrighty, well, pretty much then, if we are going to be in Tennessee, then pretty much I have a perfect name to give our AKA Link and such. And as you can see, yes, I did play the game a little bit, like I said. Much like with the first Legend of Zelda game, I did a little practice before we start streaming, and pretty much this is how my first practice stream went before we got done, at least like before we started actual streaming this game and such. And let me do something real quick.
So the 001 was the time she died, correct?
Yes, so pretty much I can see I only got 1 game over so far during my practice run. So it's not a promise, but if somehow we can go ahead and, like, complete this game, like, without losing any lives like we did in the first quest of Legend of Zelda, I'm going to be very impressed. I'm literally going to be so impressed if we manage to do that somehow. But, pretty much...
I was just kidding about the Tennessee joke. It's Hyrule, of course.
I know. Pretty much I know you were, but I was going to say, like, just in case, like, if we are going to set place in Tennessee, and considering some of the enemies that we're going to encounter, it's only fair that we resurrect Ulysses Grant back from the grave. Come on, Grant. You are the only one that will able to save us and this Princess Zelda that you probably never even heard of and everything, but you're gonna save her and such. So let's go ahead and get started.
Let's go ahead and get Grant.
Yes, let's go ahead and get Grant. Alright, Grant, this is Zelda right here. And as you can see, actually, fun fact, this is not the original Zelda from the first Legend of Zelda game. This is actually a very different Zelda, aka the very first Zelda that's been put on a sleeping spell long before. Pretty much if you were to read the instruction manual, pretty much like, from what I understand and everything, like, her brother got a little bit, like, pissed off because, like, she wouldn't reveal where the third Triforce was and such. This magician came along and pretty much put her on a sleeping spell for a very long time. And the only way to ever, like, break from the sleeping spell and such is, as the game mentioned and such, you place 6 crystals, get the power of the number 3 Triforce, aka the Triforce of Courage, and pretty much we'll be able to wake Zelda from her nap and such.
Yeah, but basically the story goes that their dad told the princess where the Triforce was. The brother got jealous, and the rest. You know the rest.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, the reason why like all the other princesses are named Zelda is because that's just what the brother declared after he felt very bad for like putting his sister into like a very long sleep and everything, and almost causing her to die. So pretty much like from hence on like any princesses pretty much have to be named Zelda and such. That's to make for a very awkward little like roll call during school and everything. Like I can imagine like a teacher going up and being like, Zelda, and everyone just raises their hands and such, and it's like, yep, all present then. So, pretty much, alright. So pretty much, as you can see right here, go ahead, Bonnie, I'll let you talk for a little bit.
Well, I was gonna mention, since just in case we're in Tennessee, then this is the old world map.
Yes.
What I was gonna say, first of all.
So pretty much it's the overall map of what Tennessee looked like during the medieval periods and such. And as you can saw right there in the beginning and everything, this Legend of Zelda game is very different in that it is one of the very few Zelda games where pretty much the majority of it is side-scrolling and such. This is pretty much the only time we're ever going to see like an overworld just like this and such. But pretty much like you get an overworld just like this. But whenever you visit on like certain towns like this, or go to like caves or palaces or whatever, it's going to be side-scrolling from here on out. And pretty much
Well,
like
honestly,
yeah, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, which honestly, this is kind of an interesting gameplay. I'll be honest with you.
It is, and pretty much what makes it even more interesting is that, like, instead of being like a action-adventure, like it was in the first quest, or at least like the first Zelda game, this one is pretty much strictly an RPG and such, and that right now we don't have any monsters and such, but if we were to go into the grass right now, there are the monsters right there. And as you can see, alright, so each monster has two shadowy figures. That blob right there, if I was to go into that blob and everything, I'd be transported into like a battle encounter, and the blob pretty much lets you know that you're gonna have like an easier time fighting the enemies, while the tall monsters right there pretty much are the harder versions of the enemies and such. Usually for me, I would try to stick with like the lighter enemies and everything, because for the most part they still give you just enough experience points and everything, which, yeah, this game also has experience points. Let me show you. So pretty much as you can see right here, we have experience points, and pretty much for every monster that you're able to kill and everything, you will gain some experience. And once you reach a certain number of experience and everything, you will get a chance to either upgrade your life, as you can see right here, either your life, magic, or your attack and such, which we'll explain what each of them do in due time. But as you can see right here, we have these sets of enemies known as bots. Just kill them about 2 times with your sword and everything, and you should be good to go. They'll give you about 2 experience points each. Now, one neat little thing about Zelda 2, much like how it was in Zelda 1 and such, in Zelda 2, pretty much in this game, and after you get... Alright, I'm going to show you right here. So you see right here, alright, so after you defeat a certain number of enemy, which is always the 6th enemy, once you defeat the 6th enemy in every game and everything, then pretty much you'll either get either 1 or 2 items that they'll drop for you. It's either going to be like some sort of pea bag, yes, pea and such. It's either a pea bag or a treasure bag, or as you can see, a little blue container right there. And this blue container basically like refills your magic, as you see right here. So if you're ever running low on magic, you want a little more like magic and such to cast spells, which we don't have just yet. Well, there you go. Pick it up, and pretty much you'll have a lot more magic. So, alright, and yeah, as you can see, you can leave the battle anytime if you were to leave either to the left or to the right and such. So, that's one way you can get an enemy encounter. Now, say, like, you're running low on lives, or you don't feel like you want to battle an enemy right now, well, here's what you can do. So, just stand right here in the yellow road, and pretty much you will... Yeah. So, pretty much, like, yeah, if you encounter an enemy and you don't feel like battling and everything, like I said, just pretty much stand right here in the brick road, and you don't have to worry about battling any enemy. And there are also other enemies where pretty much, like, if you go into a certain path, like, say, this forest right here, you'll automatically get sent into either, like, a trap or some kind of special little secret that basically you can get within this game. And in this secret, as you can see, P! Yep, there it is, a pea bag. So yeah, get used to that, because we're going to be seeing lots of pea bags. We're going to be seeing lots of piss within this game and everything. So pretty much, as I mentioned and such, yes. Once you get up to a certain number of experience, in the American version, you only get 1 chance of, like, well, not 1 chance, but you get 1 option. You get 1 option of what you want to, like, upgrade. If you want to upgrade your life right now, you can. Or, if you want to save it for something better, like, say you want to get more magic or attack, then you can actually do that and build up your experience points however you want. For the purpose of this live stream and everything, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade, every time, like, I meet a certain number of experience points that I need in order to upgrade. So in this case, we'll upgrade our life. And in doing this, pretty much, we'll have a much stronger defense, and pretty much be able to take more hits as well too from certain enemies. So with that out of the way, let's go. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and visit our very first town. Welcome to Rauru. Alright, now pretty much in East Town and everything, you will be met with like a couple of villagers. Now, one thing I actually just picked up when I was doing the game on my practice run, if the villagers are walking around in the same direction as you, sorry, I know nothing. Yeah, pretty much they're not really going to give you that much helpful hints. However, for right now, there are actually some villagers in here that will actually give you some hints, or at least, like, you know, give you some words of encouragement, like this old lady right here. Return the Chris. Go ahead. Like Baraba the Rapper? It's not PlayStation yet, kid. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, pretty much, yeah, as the old lady said, we're gonna pretty much, that's one of the places where we need to put the crystals in Parappa Palace, which we'll get there sooner or later. And, alright, we'll talk to this guy. If all else fails, use fire. Alright, thank you, guy. I'll make sure to do that. So pretty much next time that I get pulled over and I can't pay a ticket, I'll just, like, you know, burn the policeman and such, which don't actually do that. And yeah, alright, so this...
Because I don't know if you guys know this, but a lady, I'm gonna keep it on.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody here on the news, and they broke a police car, they broke a police ticket, and, well, they got tased and they got arrested.
Yeah. Yeah, so pretty much moral of the story, don't set a policeman on fire, or else they'll literally tase you. Like literally set you on fire if they wanted to. And pretty much, let's not worry about getting tased. Let's worry about this lady right here. Please, let me help you. Come inside. Alright, now, actually, we don't actually really need this and such, but, yeah, so pretty much, yeah, I can restore your life. So pretty much, like, yeah, that red bar right there, if you're running a little low on life and you need a quick little refill, well, there's one of the places you can go to refill your life. And pretty much, yeah, we all know the jokes by now and such, so go ahead and use your imagination. What you think might actually be happening inside that house and such. Anyway, we actually do want to...
I guess we need a little imagination.
Yeah, kids, I guess we need a little bit... Oh. Oh, God.
Whoa. Oh, God.
Well, kids, I guess this takes on a new beat of I love you. What the fuck's wrong with you? Anyway, only a hammer can destroy a roadblock and it can literally bash your head in. Never talk to me again, please. Okay, alright, I mean, we didn't think you would actually hate the joke, alright? Anyway, and pretty much with each and every town, you'll also run across these ladies as well, too. Talk with my father before you leave town. So, we'll go ahead and head in. And as the same lady will say, each town has a wise man. Learn from him. So pretty much, yeah. New to Zelda and everything, this is the first Zelda game where pretty much you're going to be learning some spells along the way. And pretty much for...
Use magic to survive. Alright, go
ahead. Yeah, so pretty much this is where the magic and the spells comes in. So pretty much for every town that you visit and such, you'll be getting a new spell. With this one, we have a shield spell. And if we were to cast it and everything, then pretty much it's as it says and such. So we'll be getting a stronger armor, and even get like a better defense. So definitely something like this will come in handy, in case, will definitely come in handy for like harder enemies as well as bosses as well. So pretty much do keep that in mind. But also keep that in mind that this spell also costs your magic and such. So if you were to cast the spell right now, that white bar that you see right there under magic, well pretty much like you'll be using as much as your magic. And some spells could cost almost a whole bar of magic, or even like a half a bar of magic. Even when you like level up to the max amount of levels that you could get for magic. So yeah, so alright. Get candle in Parappa Palace. Go west. Go west.
You wanna do that?
I mean,
are you sure you wanna do that?
Well, I mean, he does say go west. You gotta do something, right?
That was a reference I made to Atu Films. You know Atu Films, the guy that did the North versus South Civil War thing.
Oh, I think I do know who you might be talking about there. Yeah.
I was just surrounded with some angry because like, oh, are you sure you want to do that?
Fine heart.
The guy's named Grant, so
oh, okay, yeah. Well, I mean, if this is the way I need to do in order to save this Zelda girl and such, I guess I have no choice and such. Anyway, this girl says fine heart and saw the parappa. I kinda don't roll like that, but okay, I guess I'll take her advice. So yeah. So pretty much like, yeah, if you see any characters that are walking like the opposite direction of you, most likely that like they also have some wisdom that they want to share with you, but... Alrighty, so we got enough information, we got the spells out of the way, so let's go ahead and traverse. And pretty much, before we make our way to Parappa Palace, let's go ahead and grab that, extra heart that the lady, said that we can get, from the south and such. So I'm gonna go even further south. So one thing how this, LP is... well, like I said, we have to do something, alright? Pretty much, I had to do a lot of things to win the Civil War.
Alright, let's keep going.
Yeah, let's keep going. Alright, so pretty much another thing with Zelda 2, yes. So pretty much there's going to be certain paths, aka known as traps. And if you were to activate these traps, then pretty much you will either have to keep on going and such in order to make it to a certain path that you need to get. Or in other cases, you can actually, like, you know, skip these traps altogether and such. You don't have to worry about them. For this run through and everything, I will be showing up every single trap that you could find within this game and such. Even the ones that you can actually skip and such. So that way there's a trap to where, like, you know, so that way just in case, like, you know, which traps you can actually easily avoid if you don't want to, like, you know, deal through them, and which traps you actually have to go no matter what. Because there are some traps that are mandatory in order for you to get to certain places and to beat the game and such.
Especially before we get to the Great Palace.
Especially within the Great Palace itself. And I had that coming. Oh, that's okay.
Not the Great Palace itself. I mean...
Well, I mean, like, yeah, I know what you mean. Like, you know, pretty much on the way to the Great Palace and such.
Because the Great Palace isn't the final boss. The final boss is actually getting there.
Pretty much, yeah. So, pretty much, like I said, for those that have seen our blind playthrough on this game and everything, you will probably know just how much of a nightmare it was just to get to the Great Palace in the first place and everything. So, pretty much, no doubt.
And I was asked for the final part, which I fucking regret to this day.
Yeah, well, pretty much the good news is, now you can see me suffer. Like, you can actually see me get to the Great Palace and see how much, like, I might actually suffer, or again, if there is some miracle to where I do not actually get a game over, even within the Great Palace itself. Anyway,
let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens. But anyway, alright, so pretty much also within the random encounter, you'll also encounter a fairy. If you ran across a fairy, then pretty much it's just... Fairies! Then pretty much, yeah, it's just as it sounds and such. You run across a fairy, then you can also refill your health that way. So, alright. Well, luckily for this type of enemy and everything, we don't have to worry about battling anyone. So, yeah, we should be good to go. Just the only thing we gotta do is just make sure we, you know, don't get hit by the rocks and such. But anyway, here we are, within the first ever palace. Now, these statues right... I mean, yeah, like, honestly, I agree with Bonnie, like, you know, the soundtrack for the palaces is awesome and such. It's easily one of my favorite soundtracks, at least within the Zelda game, period, and such. It's definitely one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah, the palace soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah.
I'll give them that.
But, pretty much, as we're gonna say and such, not all palaces, but sometimes in some palaces, if you hit these statues, then you would actually get, like, a red magic container. If you get a red magic container, then pretty much you can, refill on your magic that way. Although sometimes you gotta be careful, because other times, if you, pretty much, like, you know, if you hit the, statue and everything, an iron knuckle will appear. The good news is that, like, you don't have to battle the iron knuckle if you don't want to, but pretty much, like, just keep that in mind and such. Like, if you ever want to, like, if you ever, you know, stab a, iron knuckle statue just to see, like, you know, if there is any magic in there or not. But pretty much, like,
that's important.
It is. And pretty much, yeah, so here it is on our palaces.
I was also gonna mention, you see those dogs that are just, like, walking towards you?
Yes, those are called, I believe, like, wushoos, or some, or pretty much something to that effect.
Those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys. Those guys take away XP, so you guys better be careful with them.
Yes, yes, pretty much please be careful with that, because as Barty mentioned, if they touch you like he did with me, and pretty much like, yeah, he could take away your experience and such. Which thankfully it's not all that much and such, so if he takes away some experience from you, then like, I wouldn't worry too much, because yeah, sooner or later we're about ready to like, pretty much reach to level 100, and pretty much, nah. Well, at the very least, I'll still pick it up, but I'm not going to use the shield just yet. But pretty much, like, yeah, once we get to level 100 and everything, and we'll be able to at least, like, upgrade our magic and such. Yep.
And the worst part is that once you kill them, they don't give you back the XP points. So
no. Yeah, yeah, pretty much, like, I believe these are one of the few enemies to where, like, if you kill them, you really don't get any XP from them and such.
But they're tame compared to another enemy that takes away EXP, so...
Oh yeah, yeah, that I do agree with you right there. And that bubble, okay. So right now, I'm not gonna worry about this bubble and everything because we have too many, like, you know, rats trying to stab us and such. But pretty much, like, if you get a bubble all by itself and everything, kill as many bubbles as you can and such. It may be a little tedious, it may take some time, but trust me, like, if you were to try to kill as much bubbles as you can right now, you will gain lots of experience and such. There'll be one quick way for you to level up as best as you can and such. And alright, so let's go ahead and upgrade our magic. And I don't know if it... Okay, so pretty much as you see, as you upgrade our magic, the cost of your spell and everything will actually decrease the more you increase your magic and such. So that's one helpful hint right here. And okay, here's one bubble to where we could actually stab right here. Now, with these bubbles, you do have to be careful. Because not only can they, like, hit your life and such, but pretty much if you get hit by a bubble, you also lose a little bit of your magic as well, too. So you gotta be careful right here. And these guys actually do take a lot of stabs in order for them to, like, get killed. So even though it might be a little bit tedious for some, trust me when I say, like, it's definitely still going to be worth it in the long run.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. So, I'll go ahead and kill this bubble because I forgot. I never did mention, like, what the goal for this first session is going to be. The goal for this first session of Zelda 2 is pretty much going to be me making it over to Palace 3, and then pretty much seeing if I could beat the Island Palace and such. If I can beat the Island Palace, then if we have enough time, then maybe I might also, like, go over to, like, the other island, get one more magic, and then pretty much call it a session right there. So that's pretty much going to be the goal for this session. And for those that are new to the channel and everything, mostly these live streams pretty much go on for about at least 2 hours and such. It might go on for a little longer than 2 hours, but at bare minimum, we do try to keep these streams at least 2 hours at most and such. Whoop. Alright, well, I'm gonna get another life magic coming up. So, alright, for this one, if you want, go ahead and, like, upgrade to your shield and such. Because even though this guy is not really all that hard and everything, I will still say use your shield and such, because you can pack a little bit of a punch, especially with, like, you know, the level of health that we're in right now and such. So this guy pretty much acts like a, acts like a hammer brother and such. But the good news with this guy is that, like, alright, there we go. So pretty much, like, yeah, once you kill him and, like, make it past his mace and such, then pretty much you'll be able to stab him and no problem. And as you saw right there in the statue, yes, there are some statues within the game that also carry a red ball of medicine, so if you're able to know where they are, pretty much pick them up as soon as possible. And,
yeah, I was also gonna mention that guy looked like a hammer brother.
Okay, what's going on here? Okay, there we go. Okay, why am I having trouble? Okay.
What's the matter?
I know. Pretty much I was a little scared for a second there because, like, pretty much every time that, like, what's going on here? Okay, so pretty much every time I'm moving in a direction and everything, sometimes the game kind of stops for me and such. And yeah, I was doing that right now again with Link, so... boy.
Are you using a controller, or...?
No, I'm using a keyboard for this. Yeah, usually for NES games, I usually use, like, well, yeah, well, to be honest, I was gonna have it anyway, so... Alright, let's see if I can try to kill her. But yeah, pretty much, as I was saying, pretty much for, like, NES games or any, like, 8-bit games and everything. God damn, really?
What's going on? Yeah, there's something wrong with the controls.
I don't know, like, if it's just my keyboard or something, but... Okay. Well, we're pretty much, all I'm gonna say is that, like, I hope this is, yeah... Alright, hold on. I don't know.
would suggest putting on the controller.
Alright. Okay, alright, you know what? I'm gonna give this another try. Pretty much if this keeps up, then yeah, I'll go ahead and, like, use the controller real quick. Cause yeah, like, you know, this has never happened like that before. At least definitely not to this extent. So.
I always use a controller because sometimes I don't want to risk getting a game over or getting hit by using the keyboard, because sometimes the keyboard input is different from a controller, well, for obvious reasons, but you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, usually, like, I never had this, like... Okay, well, actually, that's a bit like a half-lie. Sometimes I've had this problem happen before with some emulators with the keyboard, but usually beforehand, like, even with, like, in the first Legend of Zelda game, like, I didn't have this much trouble within the first Legend of Zelda game. And, okay, right now, like, it is going by a little bit more smoothly, but, like, if this does get to be a little bit more of a nuisance and such, then, yeah, I'll go ahead and switch to a controller and such. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Alright, so we got that out of the way. Let's go ahead and move down. I think this should be... No.
Let's see what we got here. Nothing. Alright.
Yeah. Alright, I want to wait for this ball.
This guy again. Alright, let's see what we can get.
I will say, and I also will say right here too, I'm not gonna kill every single enemy within this game and everything. Like, there are gonna be some enemies in here where I feel like, you know, it's not really all that worth it to kill, even just to gain, like, you know, a little bit of experience and such. But with enemies like these, like the bubbles and such, I will go ahead and, like, you know, go on my way and stab it and such. Okay. Well, it was fun while it lasted. Let's try again.
Especially once we get to the Great Palace, because there's one enemy there that we're gonna say fuck it and run.
Let's see if you come back down.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna, yeah.
Alright, well, like I said, we're gonna give this a few more tries. I'll at least, okay, how about this? I'll at least kill this guy real quick, and then I'll go ahead and, like, you know, move to a controller real quick.
Okay, yeah. Right there, yeah.
Alright, hold on a second, folks.